And welcome back to another episode of Everything But the Podcast. I am your co-host, Michael McGuire.
And I am Ray Kinay.
And with us today, we have a special guest, Daiquan Ashley.
Hey guys, how you guys doing out there?
Dave, why don't you start off telling them a little bit about yourself?
My name is Daiquan. Basketball, I like to play basketball sports, big on that. Big gamer, so like Fortnite, Apex Legends, things like that. Right now, I work at a dealership as a car salesman. Fred Beans Hyundai, selling Hyundai vehicles. But other than that, I mean, just a fun-loving guy. I like to have fun, play around.
Okay. And just how you feeling today? I know we talk, from time to time, but how you feeling today? I don't think I asked you that yet.
I'm feeling good right now. I mean, it's hot outside, but, can't complain.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Moray, how you doing over there in Kansas?
I'm doing pretty good. Started trying to get back into my exercise regime, and I'm hurting a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But outside of that, I can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Okay. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move into our first topic of the night. Moray, this was one of yours. You had a question of why is negativity so popular in social media today? So you want to go ahead and expand a little bit on that?
Like I was when I came up with the idea of trying to talk about this, it's just to me, it's like not really understanding why it's popular. It's just trying to figure out like what makes people so comfortable to be negative in a grand scheme of things, of saying people they don't have no clue or people that don't know anything about, and just post random things or whatever it is to bring people down. I think it's just more so of people have the comfort level to be able to do that from behind a screen, or like Drake said, Twitter fingers turn to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like people just feel so much comfortable behind a screen, and like it seemed to be funny, or it's like, I don't know if they say clout chasing or whatever the case may be. I just always thought it was weird. Like the only time I've ever been, I don't want to say negative, but like I would make fun of people. It's like people I directly know, so it's like a joke. Like I actually know them, but like to go out onto like someone's page I wouldn't know, especially famous people, they get it all the time, and say negative things or make things up. I don't really get the point behind it, but I just feel like it's like people have just so much of a comfort level because they're not interacting with people face to face, so it's like a lot easier for them to do that from a text. Oh, you're never gonna see me, or you know what I'm saying? And once the famous person or whoever it is reacts, it's like, oh, they're sensitive, or oh, they're this, or oh, they're that. So it's like, it's always a drawback on people when you're famous. You're supposed to expect that, but to me, I never really got my head around why that's so common or so popular. But it's just people try to get laughs, and old people always try to go against the grain, and it's weird to me. I don't 100% get it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like, for me, I equate it to like the same way that like that badass kid in third grade that used to just lash out. Like it was just shout out in the middle of the lesson, or I know Dave, that was probably
that was me. That was me. I ain't gonna lie about that. I was the class clown.
But it's the same shit. That. But it's the same shit. Like it's the same thing. But now we're like grown, or 20, 25, 30 people. Like people that are older are doing this, exhibiting the same kind of behavior. It's just, to me, it's searching for any kind of attention, and whether it's negative, positive, it's attention. So that's all they want. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, we're in a day and age where attention is, number one goal. People want to be sought out. That's all it really is. I mean, why do you think people like spread rumors, or, you see crazy videos of people just doing dumb stuff, going to a store, jump on a table or something like that, just attention. I mean, it's clout chasing. That's all it is.
Absolutely. I forget, it's been a few social media, like personalities, I guess you call them, that just do things that are like super wild. Yeah. Like there's no reason for you to walk into a KFC and then shout like some bullshit like for no reason.
You can't,
Like
you can't act like you haven't watched one of those and like got a little chuckle out of it, but then like at the end of the day, like the borderline, you just like it's just like it just makes people look so bad, and people that's how people create images for. Say if something little happens in a community, they're like, oh, all of them act that way, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's a negative portrayal in that way if you know or if you don't know if the person's playing around, but like for someone to constantly do it, it's a big thing. I mean, there's even pages now that make a living off of creating negative energy and making fun of people, and people follow that too, and they draw to it. Just why? I don't know. I don't really follow any of those pages, but I've definitely seen posts from pages like that, and I'm pretty sure it pays the bills for a lot of people just to be behind those pages or supporting those pages. And to me, I don't really see. Well, obviously there's no positive to it, but it's just people thrive off of that. I think it's more so like of a distraction on what's going on in their life or things that's going bad with them. They're like, oh, I seen this other person struggling, or I seen this other person doing bad. That's funny, but like if it's to me, I don't want to put that out there, type of thing. Because like when it comes to social media, everyone wants to portray the best in them, and you never really see the negative. But in those pages, they literally gravitate to all negative. So it's like it's to people, it's like a relief to go to that and be able to laugh at it or joke or poke fun of. So it's like it's a weird scenario, but you know what it is.
I just don't understand like how it gets perpetuated in social media, because like there's nobody to call it out. Like they just sent me a video a couple of days ago. This guy like walks into a corner store and this woman has on these flip flops.
Yeah.
And he like goes all the way down her leg, down to her like ankles and down to her feet, just to show how they look. I'm not gonna go into detail about how they look because I don't want to put nobody out there. But just to do that, it's like it's not necessary. She minding her business, trying to get her like. Okay, so to get back on that point about that video that I saw, I wanted to ask y'all, what do you think could be done to like reverse that? Like instead of showing negativity and getting that attention, put a positive spin on it.
Honestly, I don't think there's a way to go. Like, there's no way you're gonna reverse that. To be honest, just the fact that social media now is driven off of views and likes and laughs and whatever reaction you get from people, that there's no way to reverse that, because you're always gonna have a good amount of people out there that are gonna laugh at that or gonna be drawn to that.
Well, that's where it's at. I mean, people want to share stuff. I mean, the all positivity thing is, is good and all, but like if you're trying to make somebody laugh and everything, they see it. You see what happened with me. I send it to you. That's the chain reaction.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also good things. Like a perfect example, the first thing that comes to my mind is that guy, Mr. Hotspot. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No.
The guy like the the guy that's always like that. Look at you, beautiful.
Yeah.
That guy.
I don't even know his name, to be honest.
But him like doing that and like whether it's like somebody doing videos like that, just walking up to people like compliment them on their smile or how they're dressed or something like that, just to get like it's a response in the same way that. Do you think it would be like the same? Well, not the same exact effect, but objectively.
I mean, it has the same effect. I mean, you still got people that's gonna out there, they're gonna share it and everything like that, but it won't be as publicized as something like that. People like that type of stuff. They want to laugh at, makes them feel better about themselves, I think.
I also feel like the positive wave or positive energy or positive posts is gaining a lot more traction now, more so. I wouldn't say negativity is always going to be a thing. So people can relate or can feel more comfortable making somebody negative than, or like portraying negative things onto people than being positive and saying, oh, that's like something I would want to be a part of. Like, if they see something like that, they might throw a like at it, but they won't really comment, or, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a lot easier for people to react to something negative or something that they deem as funny than something that's like real or something that's like genuine, to be honest.
Yeah, because they can comment on it. I mean, most of those negative posts you see on the gram or Facebook, whatever it is, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you got a long list of comments of people expressing their feelings, whether it be some type of brutality or whatever it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. I don't know. I wish it could shift a little bit, or even if it's not like a shift, like even if we kept, I don't want to say keep all the negativity, but I know how people are. I know sometimes when Dave sends me shit like that, like I'll watch it and I'll laugh and I'll say like that's messed up afterwards. But so if like there was a boost in like positive content that came out, I feel like that would at least make me feel a little bit better about the world.
All right, so this quick question. Are you more inclined to comment on a positive post or a post that's making fun of somebody? Let's be honest.
Oh, positive post for sure.
You're more inclined to comment on a positive post?
Yeah.
Let me
absolutely.
let me ask Dave this question. Dave, are you more inclined to comment on a positive post or a post that's making fun of somebody?
Yeah, we all know the answer to this one already.
Yeah, I'm a jokester, bro. So I could go with the punches as long as we're not like trying to hurt anybody or anything like that. If it's all jokes and memes, I'm with that, honestly.
Yeah, there's extremes to it where there's stuff that's just like you can't control that's actually funny, but then there's other stuff where like people are like getting into people's business or trying to hurt somebody's feelings or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that shit. I mean, I don't bang with that.
Yeah, that's another extreme to it. But in terms of like it being making fun of somebody, I think people are more inclined to comment or share that than the positive thing. But I mean, I'm definitely seeing a turning tide in that where people are reposting a lot of self-helps or whatever the case may be. If it's like getting your things in order, learning discipline and things like that. I've seen that more often recently. But
I feel like it's popping up a lot because a lot of stuff's been going on in the world that's just been crazy. So I feel like a lot of people have been trying to post a lot more positive stuff. Because the media, the news, and everything like that, they want to get the negative stuff out there.
Oh, for sure.
That's their job.
It's definitely turning the tide, and I actually really like it. I haven't followed newer people recently, but I'm seeing it a lot more on my page, and it makes me feel a little bit better about the way people are thinking, at least, or are portraying their thinking. Is definitely a positive in that way, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want us all to, as long as it's love at the end, as long as it's not like malice, and I can take a joke, but just at the end of the day, make sure it is a joke. And you're not out here trying to like hurt somebody or like make somebody feel like shit.
I mean, yeah, true, because that mental health nowadays is crazy. I mean, a lot of people, suicide,
You about to open up a whole box of words. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. All right, so this next topic is one of Dave's. He wants to discuss athletes making a choice, high school athletes making a choice to go overseas instead of following tradition and joining the NCAA, where they would forfeit their amateurism if they went overseas. They would be making money as opposed to being in the NCAA. The university would be making money off of them. Dave, you want to give a little bit of background about things you've seen?
I mean, the things I've seen mainly is just the fall of somebody's career is the main thing. You have, a lot of these top high school prospects coming out, dominating AU, high school all year round. And they get to college and then first year, second year, an injury just like that. And then it's a career-ending injury. There's nothing you can do about that because their mindset, they were, propelled and like focused on getting to the league, whether that be NBA, NFL, baseball, whatever it is. I mean, they were focused. They had one drive, and then it gets ruined just off of injury. And there's no fall plan after that because they lose their scholarship because the school and everything like that. They're not going to pay for school after that point, because they're not playing. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think you asked me, I think it's a bit of a travesty that these young athletes are pretty much giving everything to the university, and the university gives them like a meal plan in return. In some cases, not even that. But so for everything to turn out like the way it's been going, I definitely see it being a benefit to the athlete being that they are in a nutshell, I think it should be that the student athletes should be able to benefit some way from their efforts, because with it being only in the hands of the university, them being able to make revenue off of those student athletes, it's indentured servitude. I won't put it to say modern day slavery, but I definitely do think it's indentured servitude. You're giving 1, 2, 3, 4 years of your life, however many years in a gym or on a field, for a piece of paper at the end of the day, while they're generating possibly millions of dollars off of your efforts on the field or on the court. Maury, how do you feel?
I feel like it's a little bit different for other sports. I can't really speak too much on football or baseball or any of the other major sports, but more so basketball. I feel like it's like, well, when you're saying, you know what, I'll just skip over that. Pretty much the way I look at it is if kids decide to do the whole, I want to call it a circus act, but pretty much walking through the motions of going through college, knowing they're only going to do a year and go straight to the NBA anyway. It's almost because they have to go through that regulation, but in terms of their own benefit, there's like benefits and there's like negatives to it. So the college platform, well, that's what I look at it. When you go to college, I feel like it's just a platform to show your talents. You don't necessarily play against, well, you're technically playing against the best competition there is. But say in your position, you might not go against the best person in your position that year. So there's always little discrepancies here and there, but the way I look at it is if kids choose to go overseas and play to make money, I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as, look at it in a normal person's vision, as in when they get out of high school and decide not to go to college and they want to be a tradesman and they start working, they have a decent job coming straight out of high school and working in their job already, start making money right away instead of going to college, and you can see your uphill scale from there. So it's always like, it's almost like a personal preference. I think they just need to take that rule away. We all know who's going to go to the NBA regardless. I can't remember do you remember when was last year they did the straight out of high school rule for at least basketball?
That was like 2000.
It was a while ago. I mean, the last person was Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, it was way after LeBron.
Huh? Yeah, it was
Andrew Bynum. I think that was
Andrew
the last
Bynum
year.
was the last one.
Lou Will came in after that too, right? Or was he there? He had to be after LeBron. I don't think he's after LeBron.
No, so I think Andrew Bynum was the last one. They got drafted out of high school.
But
he had a couple good years too.
Even in it all, if you look at like the United States, the name of the game is free enterprise. So when I graduate high school, if I have a talent or I have a skill, just like if I was like a carpenter and I wanted to go in business for myself and I wanted to make my own money, that's my right to do that. But I do feel like the media and the NCAA does condemn athletes if they even get along to doing that. Let's take a look at the Ball family. LeVar Ball was the engine behind it, and they crucified him for all the decisions that he made regarding LaMelo, or even what he did with LiAngelo. The only one that really went straight through was Lonzo.
Yeah, because he went to school and everything, yeah.
Right, and now there's another kid happened like 2 years ago or last year, Darius Baisley, that went to New Balance and got like $1 million internship. We all know that's not a true internship. You have any like more details about that?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it's pretty much like he had, for lack of a better word, due to my knowledge of the situation, it was kind of like a sponsorship or an internship to like be under New Balance, and he had a desk and everything and he could learn the business and whatever, but it's kind of almost like being a signed athlete, the way LeBron is to Nike, or the way I don't know who other KD is to Nike or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Jesus,
a smart way to try to get a loophole around that, though, to say internship.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty smart. I didn't even think about it. I'm about to start doing that. That's pretty smart. People try to find ways around it. It's pretty cool, though, that you try to. I didn't even hear about this my first time hearing about it.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. I mean, the big one that's been lately is RJ Hampton, if you guys know about him.
Yep.
He just was top athlete coming out. Just transferred over to an Australian team. He's going to play overseas before he goes to the league. Yep. Great talent, too.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to ask, if we could put it in like our like perspective. So coming out of high school, we're all 17 again, fresh behind the ears and all that good shit. We have the opportunity to go and do something where we can take our own destiny in our own hands and make money that way, or we can go to this other place where it's like a little bit more structure and more stable, but we won't get any of the profits while somebody else will. What would you do?
I go to the first spot.
You just build on your own?
Yeah.
All right, Moray, how would you do it?
I don't think it's that simple to be able to say A or B. Some people like structure a little bit more to say, like, look, if I have my own freedom, I might not be able to control that. So maybe I need to go this way, or vice versa. The way I look at it, too, when we were talking to Day a little bit about it the other day, kids that come out of high school, usually, or at least for basketball, usually have played so many AAU games that they have so much mileage on them that they're just like, man, like I might need to go get this money now, and I'm going to eventually catch up to it afterwards. I'm going to catch up to try to get into the NBA. I can catch up to getting my degree or whatever the case may be. So it's like, if you decide to go into college, it's the same risk you're taking anyway. Instead of this time, you're going to get paid for it. So I don't know if I can really make a decision on that.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Coming out of high school, you are an engineering prodigy. I mean, you basically were. My man was like top 5 of the class. You know, not to brag. You know, he was getting them grades. All right, but coming out of high school, you're like an engineering prodigy, and you have Yale, MIT, Princeton, everybody that's offering you scholarship after scholarship. You can do that, or you can go and start your own business from scratch. Everything that you could learn at MIT, at all these institutions, you can learn on your own, but you be making money while you're doing it. What would you do?
This is what I would think of my 17 or 18-year-old mindset compared to now. 17, 18-year-old mindset, I would probably go to college. Without a hesitation, like, okay, there's structure there. Say I get a full ride or whatever the case may be. It's a free education. I don't have to worry about that. It seems like an easier route. Me thinking about it now, I'm like, bro, you can get your experience ahead of the game. You can figure a lot of kinks and things out that you might not learn in class or in that structure that would be beneficial for you long term. So for me, saying it from today, if you say, okay, look back, I would say I would go make my own money right away. If I was that age, 17, 18, I'm going to the structure. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's also a level of maturity to be able to make that decision as well, or to have people around you to help you make that decision. So, I mean, I'm pretty much giving you 2 different answers, but that's how I would approach it, to be honest.
I feel like it's also, got to be based off talent too as well. I mean, because you probably got other players thinking the same thing, like, oh, he's going off the league. Why don't I do the same thing? I feel like it's got to be a criteria at that point. Like, you got to be a certain rank level. True. You know what I mean? Because it's not for everybody. Some people do need to go to college where they can focus on an area of their game.
Exactly.
Yep, guys like, like when Ben Simmons was in school. I mean, he didn't even want to go to school. He didn't go to class, He literally, like, we all saw a documentary, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Like, he dropped out as soon as he was, they left the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's crazy. I mean, he said the NCAA was, no, he said the NCAA is literally a scam. Which I think, honestly, I mean, you're making billions of dollars off these kids. Like, some of these kids come from nothing. Like, don't even have anything.
I was actually going to make that point, too, that the kids that are well off before, there's a good chance that they wouldn't want to go to the NCAA, or they'll just do a year and get out, or if they already know they're going to be a lottery pick. So like that, I think the real question or the real dilemma is kids that come from nothing, right? So they have a little bit tougher of a decision to say, okay, would I want free meals for a year, or would I want to go make money now and help my mom with the bills, or help my parents with the bills, or whatever the case may be, or make real money. I've never had a job before, but this is going to be my job type of thing. So I think that's also another dynamic that people look over a lot too.
I mean, either that or, have these kids going to college and everything, at least pay them. And then have a structured field for when they go into the NBA or NFL. Because, a lot of athletes go broke.
Okay.
Have them take financial classes and everything like that. Things that's going to help. Take sports medicine classes, learn about their body and everything like that. That should be a structure of an athlete whose just main goal is just to get to the league. Because some people are. Some people just use it as a tool to get to college, to become a doctor or whatever, lawyer. They just use it as a free education. But
so
some people, it's, different.
From your point, how do you pay the kids? I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but how do you pay the kids? What you're going to give everybody a flat rate? You're going to give Zion Williamson and the 12th string the same amount of money?
That's the one thing. There's no way that you can, whether you're talking about players on the same team or you're talking about in between sports. There's going to be, so it would have to literally be like an analysis done of who brings in the most revenue for that particular team. So you have Zion Williamson and you have William Williamson on the end of the bench.
Exactly.
Zion Williamson, because he produces more, whereas William Williamson's, let's just say, he's not one of them dudes that's just there for like the GPA. Like, let's say he comes in and he knocks down a few free throws. Yeah, every D1 school has them.
They're essential for that. They're essential for that team.
I mean, you need somebody to help with the homework.
But
we know Ben wasn't doing it.
But to finish up, there's gonna have to be some sort of analysis. Damn, Bugs just dropped. Hold on, let's set you back up. There's gonna have to be some sort of analysis that's done to determine who should earn more.
Exactly.
And I mean, all the brilliant minds out there, I'm more than sure it can be done.
Yeah, it's because it's probably going to be based off the university too. Because
that's what I was going to say. So what do you do about conferences, like a small D1 school compared to?
I feel like D1, it should only be in D1. I mean, no offense, but D2 and D3, they're not going to produce the revenue that D1 schools are. And like, say, Duke University versus I'm trying to think of it like St. Francis. I went to St. Francis for a little bit.
What school you about to low blow? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like St. Francis University. I went there. That's a small D1 school.
Okay.
Them compared to Duke University, they're gonna play a lot different. Duke is, it's mainline right there.
There was one thing I was gonna say. Shit, I can't remember. All right.
We got old timers.
This man just said old timers.
Terrible.
All right, so to wrap up that whole discussion, I definitely do think that with every team, no matter what the division is, no matter what the conference is, with them falling underneath the umbrella of the NCAA, there should be something that's able to be done in order to run some sort of analysis on everything to see what a player's value is. I don't want to use the term worth, but let's say like what their output is. If you are responsible for like 1.8% of your team's win, then you should get 1.8% of that team's income or that team's revenue.
So you're saying this should be per game and not per just who the person is throughout the year?
Let's say it is per season.
Okay.
I don't know. But that's the thing. I'm not a big wig at the NCAA, so there's no way I can answer these questions.
Because if I was in that job,
it's hard. Because you're gonna think about this. a freshman coming in, the hype's all on him. He comes in like Zion
Exactly.
Wilson and dominates, but there's been a junior or senior that's been on the team for the longest.
Bro.
Like, does he make more? So,
You're not
I
good.
mean, that's a.
If you don't work, you don't eat.
You're not good. That's how
If you
tell
don't, if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't produce on the field, on the court, you don't get paid.
Production.
I mean, treat like
I
the
don't know.
league.
But I don't know anything. I'm just me. I don't know anything. So don't hold that against me. All right, moving on to the next topic. We have responsibility and your preferences. Now, talking about preferences and dating. Now, none of us are here to judge anybody. We all like what we like, but I did have a thought today that it may be in an effort to be more responsible about yourself and who you're dealing with, to actually know the reasons behind why you want to get in with them. So, Day, you want to kick it off talking about not necessarily specifically what you like, but why you like it.
Why I like it? Well, I mean, it's a lot that goes into your preferences and everything. I mean, I feel like it's based off your personality. I mean, not many girls can honestly like probably be with me. I'm a jokester. I joke around a lot. I don't take things too much serious. I'm not an emotional guy like that. So if you're looking for somebody who's emotional, I mean, like it's gonna be, baby that send you letters and buy you flowers every day. It's just not me. I mean, I want to have fun, laugh, enjoy time. So I'm looking for a girl who's, likes to have fun, works hard, because I feel like I work hard, in my job and whatever I do, whether it was when I was my old job, what I'm doing now.
So that's like getting into subjective, like what it is that you actually like. But if
I was just like, you told me, like I'm getting into it,
Yeah, I mean, but like, okay, like why, like the reason why you like that, why you like somebody who's a little bit lighter, why you don't like somebody that's like in the more heavy or emotional side of things.
I mean, it just benefits me personally. Honestly, I think it's what has to do with you,
Okay. All right. Maura, you have anything to say to that?
I think it's more so people always want to have somebody they can relate to. To me, it's always going to be a cultural thing. If you're huge on culture, or if your family comes from a lot of culture, so it's like respecting your family and things like that. So it's like pretty much what you grow up on, and what you're comfortable or used to seeing, or just whatever makes you feel at home. So it's like, to me, it's more so someone that values family, values their family's, not, I want to say opinion, but just values family, period. Um, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, it's not just that. Of course, people get attracted to other things right away, but to me, a huge thing is a family oriented person, or individual, and they grow up around either lobbying, a lot of things that they do over a close knit family, or maybe if you haven't grown up on family, but you feel like you need to be close to a lot of people. So it's like, I mean, it's I don't think it's always the same thing, but that's what I think it'll boil down to at the end of the day. Just how you are, or what your relationship is with your family, and how important you take that. So that's just a big thing for me.
All right. So if you're talking about saying like you want somebody who has like strong family core values.
Right. That's a huge thing I think it plays in.
So in your desire to have that, would that be something that you're projecting on your idea of who you want for the future? Like in whoever your partner is going to be, your lifelong partner, you want that to be one of their core values is family.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like I haven't been too far away from family for too long without feeling some type of way that if my partner for a long time, um, values that as well, and I can see that in them, that's like a good sign, and like, okay, this is the right one, or whatever the case may be moving forward. So it's probably a main thing that I think I've gotten attracted to, and later on I realized like, oh shoot, like this person's a lot closer to who I am than I think it is, the person is. But I think it's more so, yeah, for sure, family. That's what I'm looking for, or that's what I see in other people.
Okay. Now let me ask back to you, Day. With going forward, with whoever you would look for, can you imagine, like, as you develop, as you grow, do you have any idea of what the next quality that you're going to be on the lookout will be for? Maybe that you're not looking for it now, but in the future you will be.
Nothing in particular, honestly. I mean, I like to keep my options open, honestly. Like, you know, if I can find something to, you know, keep me on my toes, you know, something that's different, you know. Because, like, you know, family is important. I understand that and everything. But, you know, to me, it's not, you know, a big thing. I mean, I'm close to my family, as, you know, Mike knows and everything like that. We're close with our families and everything like that. But, you know, to me, it's not a big deal. I want something that's pretty much just different, honestly. Something that's out there, you know, just catching you by surprise, really.
Okay. And Moray, the same question to you. Something that you're not looking for right now. So let's say family's on the shelf, but you got to go around and like look for some other things in the supermarket. What else are you looking for?
I honestly
he was about to say juice. He was about to say juice for a sec. He said supermarket.
Honestly, I don't know. I never really thought past that. I guess I can't even answer that question for you, to be honest. That's like the main driver. Outside of that, I can't think of anything that comes to mind as of right now, at least. I think that's just the main thing. It mainly overpowers everything else. That I don't think everything else really matters. I mean, it's going to be a good to bad, or good or bad to everyone. But as long as that's the good, I think everything else will find its way. Once you say another option, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't got no other options. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. And to make it clear, I ain't looking for nobody. Let me make that clear.
He's about to go to the supermarket right now. He's about to go to Walmart, go down the 6th aisle.
I'm good on this side.
Okay. I mean, we weren't trying to like allude to if you were with anybody or anything like that. We're not trying to put you out there like that.
I'm just saying, I'm not looking for nobody.
You on blackpeoplemeet.com?
I'm gonna make that clear. I'm cool.
Okay, so I can say for me, one of the most important qualities is seeing like an ability to like build. So someone having potential. Of course, there's other intangibles that come into play. How well we get along with one another, how well we communicate, how well we care for one another, things like that. But for me, for this next chapter of life, I think it's going to be someone actually like having goals and having, you know, determination and maybe on the path to building something. That would be big for me just because of where I'm at in life. So for me to justify like why I want that, and for me it's always broken down to, because I love myself, I feel like I want something that's of me and something that mirrors me. You kind of like see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. You're just looking for your other half. Basically, that's what you're basically saying, kind of almost.
So you don't really believe in opposites attract? It sounds like you want like you said, mirror. So pretty much whoever not reflects you or is exactly like you, but complements you, I guess, more so than being the opposite of you.
It's not exactly to say that I want a mirror. And it's not so much of an opposites attract thing. It's like more of like if you think about Lego pieces, that's how I think about it a lot. Like just pieces that just fit together. Yeah, compatibility just fit together perfectly. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have traits that I don't have or I have to have traits that you don't have, but we just have to be able to fit together. And I've had a few instances in life where with women that it's just fit like seamlessly. Hope I said that right. Did I say it right?
I think so. I don't know. Okay,
I said it so
quickly.
I'm not gonna ask you more because your pronunciation is terrible.
Come on, don't do that.
Yeah, engineer. You don't need to pronounce. Come on.
Don't be trying to throw me in the bus. That's crazy.
But just like things like that. So, you good?
I was not. We good. We're good over here.
All right, cool.
What's going on over here?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. We flowing though. Come on.
But to circle back, I just feel like for me, it's important for me to know why I like what I like and why I want what I want, because moving forward, if I don't, I feel like, let's say I get with somebody tomorrow, 3 months from now, if I don't have those questions answered and we're going through it, then I pretty much just spent 3 months of my life, I don't want to say wasting time, but
essentially wasting time.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting
for
any
lack of a
younger.
better term.
Yeah, you're not getting any younger.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't want to waste time, so.
I'm not, still out here a young whippersnapper. He's still, my knees aren't good.
Whippersnapper? What?
Yeah.
Hey.
Bro, do not act like that's not a part of the American lexicon, the American vocabulary. Stop trying to play me always.
Nah, it's just like you talk like you 40.
That was like from the 1980s right there.
That's what I'm saying. You talk like you 40 years old. Whippersnapper. What? Who said that?
All right.
I say that.
I kind of thought about it too. I was like, damn, I mean, you really just said that shit, man.
What's a whippersnapper? What is that? Can you explain that?
A whippersnapper is like a younger person. I don't exactly know it. I heard it in the barbershop when I was 7 years old, and I kept it ever since. All right.
I mean, I heard it before, so I know what he's talking about. I mean,
so you was
just
being nosy in the
older.
barbershop is what you were saying, and you picked up one of the words somebody said.
Bro, what else are you supposed to do when
You weren't nosy in the barbershop, all right? Come on, man.
You gotta sit on the floor and slide all across the floor. That's pretty much it. When you that young, you go to the barbershop.
What barbershop was you in, man? You was a haircut.
To be honest, my grandpa used to cut my hair and he used to make me bald. So like there's pictures of me out there looking like a monk when I was in like 5th, 6th grade. So I ain't really do the barbershop like that. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, I don't know where you was going, like the slider along the floor.
Yeah. That sounds like you getting rug burn right now.
It was in my kitchen. My grandpa blinded all of us up and just shaved us up.
That sounds like a military line right there.
That's literally what it was. That's exactly
so
what.
Wait.
Like
so
no hairline, no nothing, just bald.
So
had
you
no
were
scalp.
So you were just on the kitchen floor sliding around with a bald head. That's all that was going on?
It was looking like a bunch of little Krillins. If you know Dragon Ball Z, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A bunch of Krillins all over the floor.
That's funny.
All right. Let's start to wrap this up. I have one question for the both of you. Started it off at the beginning of the podcast. What is the last thing that you've thanked yourself for? Morey, let's start with you.
Yikes. What's the last thing I thanked myself for? I mean, it's been an ongoing thing of not really like blocking out a lot of noise, but I've thanked myself a little bit more since I moved here. Whether it's hearing what others think about what I'm doing, or whatever the case may be, for me being out here and making such a drastic move, I think it's more so just blocking out the noise or what people have to say and just going with my gut and thinking doing what's best for me. So I don't know if I've ever really thanked myself for it, but I think I appreciate it a little bit more now that I'm here and I'm going through a lot of things. So I think that might be the last thing I thank myself for. I can't really think of anything else, to be honest. So I'll go with that.
And when I say that, I mean like something that you had, like a challenge that you posed to yourself, or something that's come into your life as a challenge, and you stepped up to it and you've overcome it. So, Day, do you feel like you've had anything that you feel like you can be thankful for that you've done for yourself?
It's a tough question, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really thought. I mean, I don't really think myself too much. I mean, I don't feel like I have a lot of things that I had to really come in my life so far, where I had to, kind of step back and, thank myself and say, hey, Day, like, you handled that situation great. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it's coming soon. Not sure. And maybe hopefully I'll be prepared for it. But, I mean, just honest, I just try to take it one day at a time.
Okay. All right. So in an effort to increase the brotherhood and the idea of like all love that we're trying to do on here, why don't we set it up to where we keep each other accountable for like things that we want to set up? So let's say 2 weeks. You feel like that'd be ample time for you to find something that you want to get towards. So I know you mentioned in the past like the PC thing.
Yeah.
Building a PC. So 2 weeks, I'll check in, or Morel check in, just to say, yo, did you at least buy a mouse?
It's steps. You're right.
This guy.
Exactly. It's levels to it.
Levels to this, you know what I mean?
You're right.
Or a mouse pad. One of the two.
I mean, it'll probably be the mouse pad. It's cheap, right? How much is the mouse pad?
Mouse pad probably like $12.
Like
Flat.
$5-10 if you want some.
Oh, where you getting the mouse pad from? Huh?
$10 is
You
too
got it
much
from the
for a
corner
mouse pad?
store? You said $5 or $7.
$10 is too much for a mouse pad?
I thought you said 5.
Yeah, I said 5 or 10.
I thought you said 5 or 7.
Oh, 10.
10 maybe.
Whatever.
All right, so if I could say one thing that I'm thankful to myself for that I've done recently, it would definitely be taking a leap to like do this podcast, for sure. In the past, things have been stagnant. I've faced challenges, whether it be money, whether it be timing, whether it be just situations weren't right. And I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to actually be here right now. I'm glad like Day's here. I'm glad Moray's on the other line. Like, this is something great because I feel like I'm taking a step in my life. Like the best like way to paint it that I have been doing for so long is like, I feel like for so many years I was riding in a car, but I was in the passenger seat and I was knocked out, and somebody else was in the driver's seat just doing like 100 miles an hour going God knows where. Just recently I've woken up, and over like the past maybe 6 to 8 months I have been struggling to get a hold of that wheel from that person to kick them out the front door. But it has been a struggle, and I feel like now I just got control of the car, right? But I don't know how to drive. I don't got my license. So like to keep it going, like I'm just thankful to be in this position where I feel like I'm in control, even though in a lot of respects I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like that a lot. I just feel good knowing that I'm doing. So I'm thankful to myself for that.
That's good. I mean, there's always first steps to everything. For sure, I've witnessed most of what you've gone through in the past couple of years. Maybe there's things I don't know that you've been through, and it's definitely a growth, and it's definitely a step in the right direction. And I'm proud of you, and I already told you I'm always supporting. But it definitely is a long time coming, and we still got a long way to go. And I'm definitely proud of you. So keep it up, man. All love.
Absolutely, all love.
I mean, I got one question. What kind of car? You said you got a hold of the car. What kind of car?
Oh, it was a 1929 Mitsubishi Cutlass.
What?
Supreme.
1929.
I thought he was going to say like a Chevy DeVille or something like that.
Something like a car from this century, maybe.
I had some gold 22s on it.
Oh, that balances everything out.
Yeah, and I had a little fuzzy dice hanging from the mirror,
That
the
just
rear
make
view.
mad noise when you start the car. I don't want to hear that.
It runs like a butte, you know. It runs like a butte.
They got the roll down windows on it still.
Gotta hand crank that junk. I used to have my first car actually had a roll down window like that. That joint is crazy. I used to have an arm workout every day.
You know what? I'll cap it and I'll end it right here. I am just glad to say that I have a car. That's it.
That's true.
All right, so we got to wrap it here. I think we're running over time a little bit. Again, Day, thank you very much for coming on and doing the podcast. Pleasure to have you. Maury, you got anything you want to say to close out?
No, thanks for stepping on, Day. Part of the team. We appreciate your time. It's a little bit harder to get schedules lined up, but we made it work. And I think it was another successful episode.
I know Day about to say some shit. Day, you got anything you want to say?
I ain't gonna say nothing stupid. I mean, you just get used to it. I mean, y'all see me again. You know, I don't live too far, you know.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Everything But the Podcast. As always, we wish you nothing but peace, love, and happiness.
And make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at EBT Podcast. Share, tell a friend to tell a friend, like, subscribe, all that good jazz.
All right. And with that, we're out.